I guess I'm doing okay. Could be worse, I guess. I've been in here 2 weeks and I'm going to have another week in here. Every week that goes by is another week of healing. If I take it easy, I'm working out. I'm gradually getting my strength back, but they said it's going to take time. And they're right. I was like, now I'm going to come back from this. Well, no. He said a couple of months. When I was getting out of the hospital, it's going to take a couple of months for you to get anywhere near where you were before. If you ever get to where you were before. You probably will because you weren't on a respirator. You weren't as bad as some other people. You were only on 2 liters of oxygen in a nose tube. There's people that are way worse. The doctor was talking about people that were on 8 liters of oxygen through a respirator, and still their blood oxygen saturation levels are dangerous. Whoa. But yeah, I'm definitely not healed. I'll leave here and I'll be feeling pretty good. I'm still short of breath, but I'll go over there for about 4 hours in the cold and the wind, holding the sign. And when I get back here, I'm coughing and my lungs are aggravated and I'm shorter of breath than when I left. So it's worrying me, thinking, what's going to happen if you're out there 24 hours a day and you're out there at night when it's in the 20s or the teens? And definitely if you get wet, you're in big trouble. And I can't stay around here. I've got no place to. I mean, McDonald's, they'll kick you out of McDonald's after 30 minutes. You can't even go over to Burger King. The dining room's closed. Can't even go inside to order food. You have to, they'll drive through only. No Starbucks. There's no place to hang out indoors around here. I'd have to go to like Cabot, which is 11 miles away, or Searcy, which is 12, because they got Starbucks there, and I could sit in the Starbucks all day, I think. Arkansas is kind of funny. It's supposed to be a conservative state and open and everything, but a lot of these Burger Kings, the dining room's closed. Burger King in Illinois, dining room's open. You can sit in there all day. In Illinois, in Chicago. Okay, so Starbucks are all open. Last time I was here before, when I was in Cabot, the Starbucks dining room wasn't open. You had to sit. My point is, if I had to sit out in the freezing cold and the wet, I'm going to get sick again. I know it. So I'm kind of in a jam. This was a disaster. I didn't make any money this Christmas, and I'm sick and like stranded here. Okay, and thank God the people are generous, because they are. Thank you, BB. You kept me in this motel room for 3 weeks and fed me. So good people around here, but there's a limit. I mean, I got nobody to lean on. My mom got ratted out. I was there for like 3 days, and I'm like, man, I need to get out of here. And they're going to give me a ride to Fort Smith or whatever it's called, where I can ride into Oklahoma City and try that spot out. It was on the 5th of December, and my mom's friends said, "Were you ready to go?" I'm like, I'm not feeling too good. I think I'm coming down with a cold or something. I don't think this is a good idea. And then a week later, I was in the hospital. I was saying 2 weeks. It was only a week. I was just delirious and lost track of time. Felt like 2 weeks. It was only a week. But so I was in my mom's house for like 10 days only. She got ratted out. The people that subsidize, the government agency that subsidized her rent for senior disabled or whatever, called her up and go, "Is your son living in your house?" He's like, "No, he was just visiting." "Well, he can only visit for a little while. That's okay, but he can't live there." So the people, her neighbors, told on her. So I can't go back there. I got her in a jam already. And her friend, my friend now too, she got me this phone, so that's really friendly. I'm paying for it, but still, it's nice of her. She didn't have to do that. They were like, before they were making noises about, "Well, you can stay at our house," but since I got sick, I haven't heard them mention, because now they're like, well, now he needs a place to stay. Because they were offering, I'm like, oh, no, I'm used to being homeless. No, I'm fine, And anyway, I've been around the block a few times. I've had people offer me, you can, let's bring this puppy dog home, poor stray guy, But I've never really taken people up on that offer, because I know it's one thing when you're out on the street corner talking to you about it, and you actually, next thing you know, they got this guy in their house, and they're gonna, even if you're being really cool about it, it doesn't matter. There's just this you're taking up space and breathing air and eating food, and there's some dude in their house now. So no, I can't. It could be jeopardizing my mom's relationship, because people get funny. People get funny when it's reality sets in. All of a sudden, they're not so friendly anymore. So, and my mom needs their friendship. I don't want to jeopardize that in any way. And anyway, like I said, they haven't been mentioning anything about coming over to their house. Nothing. And I've had contact with them several times. So, yeah. It's a disaster. I'm in kind of a jam. So far, so good. Every week that I can stay in this motel room is good. Recuperate a little bit more because I've seen it. I've had friends back in the day because bums. I don't hang out with bums anymore because they're drinking and drugging and smoking and fighting and going to jail. And one's company two's a crowd out here. The cops, they see two people. It's a party going on over there. God only help you if there's 3 or 4. If you call the SWAT team. But yeah, I used to deal with that, and I had friends that they were like compromised because they're old and drinking and smoking and drugging, and they're old, and they get pneumonia in the middle of wintertime when it's cold and wet, and they get them in there and get them just enough, healing and well enough to discharge them. Their oxygen saturation levels in their blood would be at a safe number, and they'd kick them out, and they'd be right back out there doing what they were doing before and getting wet and cold again when they weren't completely healed from the pneumonia, and they'd relapse back into pneumonia. And everyone that did that I've seen, that I remember, all died. They didn't recuperate. So they went to the hospital, next thing you know, so-and-so died. Whoa. So you start thinking you think you're invincible, but when you get older, you realize, nah, man, it's true. You do get old, and your immune system isn't as strong as it was, and you can't do as much work as you did before. Your endurance, just fact, and it starts hitting you. And I'm afraid that if I got out there 24 hours a day in the cold and the wet, that the pneumonia will come back. They won't let you into the hospital until you're severely ill. If I went to the hospital, I'm starting to get sick again. I was in the hospital. They'll put that thing on my finger, test my blood oxygen levels, and go, no, you're cool. Just take Tylenol and rest. And I wouldn't get admitted to the hospital until I was severely ill again, and that might be too late. So like I said, I'm in a jam. It's that simple. I'll let you know how it turns out.